Yeah, that's right. RJJURL, the vessel. Dollar flights, yeah. I've been on some selfish shit, yeah. I ain't got nothing else to give, yeah. I don't need no help with shit, yeah. If you all alone, you felt the shit, yeah. You better believe it. It's fun, you better believe it. It's fun, you better believe it. It's fun, you better believe it. Yeah, I'm a good nigga and I be good. Shit getting crazy, got me going good. My stomach always hurting like it's full of punches. They try to shut a nigga down on YouTube. When a nigga flying, hope I don't lose you. Smoking this until I'm super out the booze too. Fucking with a nigga feelings got a good boo. This shit like doo-doo, I got some good screws. Yeah, flights, I don't need no parachute. Okay, now it's the Pilotman and right up in the air I flew. Okay, now if you don't care for me, then no, I don't care for you. Okay, now you are not prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Okay, now you living in a magic square like 2x2. Girls kicking it everywhere like yeah. So you took your first breath, what you gonna do? Yeah, you came out the womb by yourself like good guy good. Yeah. Selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. You gonna keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. You gonna keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. It's just me. Alright now, flights, yeah, air, you know, that's right. Don't understand type of people, flights. You be looking like you evil, that's not how I like to see you. Alright, jump right on a flight to leave you. Who's that? Got me moving like a new jack, feeling like a Nino. The place I come in my life, bitches number one just like a Beatles. You know, you be acting like I need you. Don't see the point just like a needle. Usually I am so selfish, I ain't got no shame. Yeah, most of the time I'm even selfish to my own brain. Yeah, I usually call out the devil just like the old days. You ain't really shit, you just get gas, feel like some propane. I'm bringing horror when they got you. I'm telling you, big a chance right now, bringing war when I be at you. With a warning like tobacco. Packages, we pack them in like a swollen pterodactyl. Swooping on land if it's a drought. Now it's pouring rain and cattle. Bitch, I'm flooring like castles. About to make them normal. You won't catch flight boss going through that motherfucker if it ain't a porno. You be so much just helpless, oh yeah. You gonna keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah.
Without your eyes,
keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah.
At high noon, if you can't do that, you ain't spiritual.
It's just me. Girl, you alone, are you sleeping with the enemy?
That's my brother, bitch.
Girl, you alone, are you sleeping with the enemy? Yeah. You need to tell me what you wanna do for real. The Cupid in, I know motherfuckers shoot to kill. You just steal, I know motherfuckers boost to steal, yeah. They'll take your fucking soul.
You should be able to look at the sun like you look at him. You're supposed to be able to do that.
Keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. You gonna keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. You gonna keep being selfish, you be so much just helpless, oh yeah. It's just me.
Hey, yeah, hell, well, what's your man too? My eyeballs made out of the sun. It's the same thing, so it don't cause the same reactions y'all's cause. I look at the sun wide and open like I'm looking at another person or another thing of that. You know what I'm saying? It don't react the same. I see through the sun. I don't need no glasses or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I was born out of the thing, so it really don't go no further than that. But look, check this out. We're gonna talk about black coat. Now I need to help y'all out. I'm gonna help y'all out. Y'all don't know how to fight for yourselves linguistically. Y'all don't even know what that means. Maybe because y'all didn't start at a starting point of creating a language, so you don't have nobody around you like No, this how you say it. This what the mind is. This is the worldview. This is the mind frame that match the atmosphere. And then y'all might not be the spirits to be able to charge yourself up to create a new version of it, which that's millennials. You always gonna need elders. But at the same time, that's too far-fetched to the point that you can't even substantiate your own thing if you wanted to, due to the fact of these national terms. And when we get into the early colonial stages of what demonizing mean, you will be able to go through the train of thought and line of reasoning how this is an updated version of it, and how a lot of practices could be made as a round them up circumstance to put a lot of people in the box, mental box, categories. Don't get too lost in one that's more important than the other, or two or three that's more important than the other two or three, and don't think that they don't come from the same substantiated program or starting point. So if it's over here, it could be over there. And it could be over there in something that you like. It could be over there in something you're not paying attention to. And it could be over here in something that you're only paying attention to. And it could be over here in something that you're forced to only pay attention to while it's still happening to you in an area you're not paying attention to and an area that you're not giving importance to. So you see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of loopity-loop-loops if you're not getting it. To even help you African Americans understand how this quote-unquote new 1970s, 60 black individual actually, before it been called black, been rocking y'all own people to sleep for the past 50 years in this bitch. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously, even if I could look at that piece of side on my end, that little side of my family, y'all Africans, right? They're destroyed. They're not more destroyed than the Native Americans. They're not more destroyed than that my actual side, but I don't hide from African side, and we see a lot of quote-unquote black individuals are, and you're hiding in something that's a nationality that was created in the 1960s and the 1970s to round everybody up in a box so we can have outcomes like an Arab named Myron Gaye saying nigga, 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 nigga. Who else? Weird Al Yokovic. I don't know if he ever said it or whatever the case. So this is something that y'all accepted as Africans and then try to complain about it when there's a lot of Bole individuals being funded to go ahead and create narratives around it. And then you end up being a Taino. You end up being a mixed Native American. You end up being a dark Arab, Puerto Rican mixed with Mexican, right? So all of us end up having the same color range, different skin texture, but different color range, different phenotype. Yet words and idol worship can make us all be at the same lecture and get rocked to sleep by some Hebrew Israelite with a candle, and that motherfucker 85% Arab. And it's like, you gotta think like, you're like, wait a minute. Was this created out of a HBCU? You know what I'm saying? Did Martin Luther King know what he was doing? Did Michael Jackson know what they was doing? I'm white, I'm black, you know it. Yeah, that went to the top. Right in this little nice ass cavalry jacket. So you think these people make a lot of money, so they know a lot more than you know. And they deal with a lot more throwing their own morality and honor in the back seat. Did the things that you don't even develop, that you know that you would even have to challenge yourself with based upon everything that come with the responsibility and the expectation after you get that check and what you need to be used for. So you think Michael Jackson ain't worship the Victorian era, the Victorian era of colonization? You got to be a goddamn fool. You got to be a goddamn fool. So here's where you get black itself not being anything along with white, but it don't have a culture, and it's just used to create synthetic narratives out of things that could be dumped on anybody at any time. It could be dumped on Mexicans, you know what I'm saying, as we've seen with the protests. It could be dumped on African Americans. It could be dumped on Arabs, how they doing, East Indians, it's thrown on a lot of y'all in a lot of different ways. But it's like all y'all not even that. This is why it's so hard for FBA to get off the ground, because it's like a college circumstance. So I'm trying to help y'all fight for yourselves linguistically if you're an African American, right? Because y'all be needing help. Y'all be needing help mentally by other cultures. So I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of situations that y'all in. There's a lot of situations that y'all in where the way you're not fighting for yourself linguistically is allowing you to accept other terminologies and meanings, and then you're fighting for it. And you find yourself even on my chat trolling, but just a person that's lost, not knowing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you should probably slow down and try to learn so you actually could help your family. Because a lot of times y'all act like y'all don't have no family. Y'all act like y'all don't have no surround. Y'all act like y'all don't have people around y'all that care about what you doing, like y'all participating on something together so y'all all can make it. It seemed like y'all all act like settler energy, like y'all on your own type shit, and y'all trying to get strangers first. You're supposed to do it the other way around. You get your family, your next door neighbors, and everybody, and then you, at that point, you're already doing what you think you're doing. It just start to spill over into larger portions of people who don't know you based upon word of mouth and all. That's the natural way of doing things. And then you're in a position of kind of compartmentalizing who you want around you or not, because you got more wisdom and things, and you really don't need no more external support. It just come as a perk. Then you're able to deal with it in that magnitude. So even if negative things come around, you could be extremely negative because you didn't need it in the first place, based upon needing it to transmute into positively, and you had to deal with it. And this is just dealing with shaky and shabby minds and stuff like that who don't got no culture. But it's supposed to be that way first. But when you're in a situation where all that is thrown out the window and kicked up the road, and then your first version is converting, okay, that's what I call Mormon settler energy, where you go into a whole person's land that you quote unquote call continent neighbors, and you're trying to convert a whole bunch of strangers into your bullshit or whatever the case may be, and you just got hit upside the head by your home team and homelands for you to even do that in the first place. So people not building up their own development of layer systems before they jump into some scam grifter. I need to convert other individuals so I can make money somewhere that I'm lost. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand that these are starting points that we also have to rectify before we start developing our layer systems based upon no matter what ethnicity you are. And you might be promoting or boosting or being the face of something that you're constantly getting the short end of the stick of, no matter what you are, even a white person. For an example, you got a bunch of white people on TikTok right now speaking about what the military get ready to do, but they ain't the military unless they self-projecting, and they is, and they just do it a TikTok psyop. Other than that, you just a white individual who ain't involved. So it's something that you trying to promote that still got you crippled. Just like the Snoop Doggy Dogg, where a whole bunch of white people were saying Snoop Doggy Dogg was wrong, and then you had a lot of black people saying he was wrong and right. I don't know, they was all over the place. Really, y'all just making a white and black thing based upon none of it makes sense. And black itself is just it's a COINTEL word. It's a code word for needing to exploit a narrative. So whether a narrative have to be created to create something like a law or action, or a narrative have to be created to demonize in order to substantiate a lot of other foggy things that people be having in their mind that they try to control, whatever the case, whoever in these positions. People do this in their household. Your mother, your grandfather, grandparents, even you, if you the parent, you create a grandma version of Christianity for your child not to do something. You know what I'm saying? So people do that every day. You might start demonizing spiders or something like that, or kitty cats. It could be anything. Demonizing basketballs or whatever because you don't want your kid to play basketballs. And then if that don't work, you start adding in the Bible. Well, Jesus Christ once upon a time couldn't walk on water because somebody was playing basketball too much and stuff like that. So he went into the church and flipped over. Then for the most part, once they get lost in all that, your kid grew up not caring about dribbling no basketball and shit like that. And they just care about, you know what I'm saying, screaming like some goddamn it single mother with 9 kids. But we can't talk like that because we got a bunch of punks and perverts online right now that think they're men, and then they throw they rock not hide, and then hide their hand. So we know it's an engineered narrative trying to make people certain ways. But if we only gonna see the face of Shaq wearing a dress, if we only gonna see the face of Denzel Washington kissing another man, then man, y'all get out the way. Then y'all are coons. Y'all are HBCUs children. You come out of some colonist college that taught you to think the way you think, even if it sounds like you going against somebody. It ain't even really about going against the white man. It's about morality. Y'all making it these things because y'all learn these type of tactics from the white man. Let's demonize somebody's nature or culture. So the moment something become a talking point, for an example, you got a lot of other ethnicities doing this white man tactic right now. The moment Young Thug came out and changed his name to Spider, you got everybody trying to sound spiritual when it start talking about animals. Man, that's them white man tactics. When you don't have a culture and you start to criticize somebody else's culture, but you only know how to explain it the way they're talking about it. If it's your culture, it's your culture. Y'all should be talking about it within each other and what's right or wrong about it and whatever y'all give grace to. It shouldn't be talked about through the mind of another culture unless they're in a position of colonization and trying to demonize something and get money off of it. Other than that, that culture is like not minding your business culture. Whatever this government shit is creating, not minding your business culture. The moment somebody's saying, yeah, the snake got this meaning or whatever, who culture you got that from, that they was doing that amongst each other, that they ain't have to talk to you about it like that. Then when you in a situation of talking about it in that attribute, right, you end up being in a colonist. You ain't the one doing it. You the one presenting it. Yeah, you end up being the one just talking about it, trying to get paid, or you're trying to demonize someone else, and then you're talking about it in the attribute of, yeah, this meaning of it. Yeah, the snake mean this and this, that, and the third. And that, man, you're a pilgrim, no matter what ethnicity you are, because if this is your culture, go sit down somewhere and talk about it with your people or something like that. And that's just your culture, which y'all already doing. But for the most part, when you put yourself in a situation of, well, I'm going to take what I think it mean and I just want to teach it, and this ain't something I do at the crib or into, and then you come up with some type of a business or a job, I'm into studies, that's a made-up job. That all that come from colonists is making up ways of how to get paid. Every last piece of it, every last inch, every last second just come from people colonists putting themselves into a situation where they know how they need to get paid and they ain't got no talent. So they come up with talents. Psychologists, but you don't know yourself. Marriage counselor, you ain't married. Child, what they call that, the kid registry, whatever. They ain't got no kids though. You know what I'm saying? So the people who need to deal with your kids ain't got no kids. You know, all this type of shit. Because a person that can deal with kids, 9 times out of 10, whatever they doing, they probably don't even have time to do that. They just say, hey, once you bring your kids around my kids. You know what I'm saying? It'd be that type of party or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really what's going on, right? Because everybody ain't in their own solidified culture. Everybody ain't in their own teaching, and we have too much conversion energy, and once you have to convert others, that means you don't have something of your own. It's back to supported by something you need to survive for yourself that don't have anything to do with the culture, and this it lead to you might not have anything to pluck from the land anymore but somebody's culture. So that's where these situations come from, but that's where it starts to get extremely foggy too. So when we duplicate it in the time that we in right now, here's where we get into this term black, where everybody knew who they were, especially if you're mixed. It's still some type of communion thing going around. Now y'all in settler energy. Everything is an external job for y'all. So when you got an external job and shit like that, it play out in situations where it's a synthetic concept that y'all gonna start replacing with where a culture should have been inside of you amongst your people. And then y'all start having this fake term for this synthetic thing that y'all doing and call it culture. And it's just really y'all backstabbing each other and y'all just doing a whole bunch of shit that all ethnicities is involved in based off business or whatever. For an example, you can't say the NBA is black people culture if Jews run it and it's just a bunch of niggas playing basketball. So any basketball player that does something, if they quote unquote was this fake term black, you go Anytime they win in a war or anytime they go through a scandal, you realize real fast they from the Caribbean, or you realize real fast they Jamaican. So you need to consider based on your phenotype, not no nationality term. You're not you a foreigner too, just because it's like 5 boats ago or whatever the case may be. The phenotype of America, which ain't even the American phenotype, is Europeans. They came up with that term from their lands in Europe. So that's like Australian stuff. But y'all keep acting like white boy scholarship too much. No, the phenotype in Europe is white people. Phenotype in Africa is Arab and the Negro tribes. The phenotype in China is Asian. The phenotype in North America, South America, Central America is Native American. Y'all about to stop that bullshit, trying to make it seem like this goddamn land don't make a mad and then everybody want to move here. That's bullshit. Ain't nobody all around the world just create no settler energy and just came up in their mind that America was the best. America was the best pre-Columbus because the people who was here, not know it just was a land and everybody wanted to discover new land. Y'all all want to start at white boy starting points. White boy came over here. It was a new land based upon the people doing shit on it. Not just a new land. If that's the case, why ain't nobody building up the parts in Africa then? Ain't nobody building up nowhere where ain't no civilization at. It's only people going, ain't minding their business, going where people got a civilization and start copying and want to take their land. Ain't no other way is going to be some motivation or importance develop. So miss me with that fucking bullshit. And y'all get lost in all these damn arguments. And then when y'all in these inner cities and inner suburbs living next door to people, you see that don't make sense. Anything on TV, all the way to yourself. You see that it's two different worlds. What's ever going on TV ain't real life. Or what's ever going on the internet ain't real life. Right? It ain't real life. That's just like if you are African over here and you're going through the same situation my people went through, Native Americans. Now, and y'all a bunch of women, and y'all don't have anything else to talk about or whatever the case but that, and why you in the situation, and why y'all poor and shit. And then you start watching TV and see Michael Jackson talk about woo hee hee, and then you get on motherfucking online in today's time and see a whole bunch of people having Dawes Act arguments or whatever the case may be. It'd be like, what the fuck is y'all even doing? Like at some point, that shit seemed like y'all going hard on something that y'all trying to make a new TV that made people stop giving a fuck about TV when y'all started making TVs and shit. And all that dumbass cowboy and Indian shit. Trying to make everybody seem like they lived in teepees. I'm saying that shit weird. So it's like now you could be a whole damn Arab / Caribbean, new Jacob Yoko stuff, and you somewhere arguing with people who know themselves. You the walking example of someone who ain't around no immediate family. You don't know who you are, anything, and your mind is strictly on whatever the white boy created for you. I gotta get this college degree. It ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to help y'all understand. Don't have your starting point in some weird shit and you already faulty. You false, especially when it comes to that black thing. Black is a and it's not to say everybody always thought they was black. And then now people who trying to separate from that term black is trying to run away from who they are. This is white boy tactics that they plan on y'all mind. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to understand this. Where is your people that's supposed to name you? All cultures, we name ourselves. From who you are, your tribe, the blood that flow through you, the God. Why y'all keep arguing with white people be confused with themselves about? I don't get it. And y'all let them dump their shit on y'all. And then y'all start trying to fight for the shit that they colonize. So you try to capitalize off of it. And your only way of allowing yourself to capitalize off of it is using the term black, I guess. But you can only be a coon using the term black. You can't use it for nothing. Like it's not profitable. You're not going to get no respiration. It's white man jargon. It doesn't attach you to anything to have any real fight. For an example, if you're from the Caribbean or you from Ghanaian or Liberian, you should know you got that phenotype. You should know you look like Brother Polite. You know what I'm saying? You should know you like DJ Academics, whatever. So you should know there should be some different type of circumstance of why you have to struggle in America and why it ain't no substantiated circumstance or welfare system to have you set up pretty like an Arab or Asian in a corner store. See, y'all, when you ain't got no culture, when you don't know yourself, you don't you're more busy with trying to self-project what you are, like not knowing yourself and stuff like that. For an example, right? I don't have to get out here and scream to strangers. Like, it's elders, people in my family already. I don't have to tell my mother to go get land and things of that nature. These are things we're already doing. I don't have to tell my aunties. I don't have to tell no relatives. I don't have to tell no other tribes. Nothing. So when someone just sparks something, it's an automatic, everybody is on one accord, but already doing it on their own anyway too, and stuff like that. Y'all in a situation where y'all constantly and trying to motivate others. Hey, we need to do this. That means it's not no culture. That's what you have to understand. That means you're not what you get ready to call yourself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're destroyed and your mother destroyed, your father destroyed, your grandparents destroyed, here's where you get these type of arguments. Well, my grandmother had white in her, or my grandmother was indigenous. My grandmother was Cherokee. No, your grandmother was a mutt. Because there's actual natives now, right, that would tell you, and they're fighting for, you see me fighting for my shit. People, I can show you other people, same fighting for the same shit. Ain't no concept of you got destroyed and it's completely erased. No. Even if something erased, you're attached to how it got erased. That's what you're fighting for. You're fighting for that not to happen again. Y'all not in that situation. Y'all claiming shit, so it shows you're not around it. And you're not that. So it could only play into being a coon, even if you're not knowing it. Let's say if you go to college, you join an HBCU or something like that, right? So you could be Ghanaian, 25%, Arab, 25%, Brazilian, 25%, or whatever the case may be. You're not thinking like that. Once you come into these colleges, you're black or you're white. Then you go into another circumstance. I'm getting ready to cosplay and get money off of it and try to teach others how to think. But then what is your culture? Is that something that you got to go teach your mother? Or is this something you're getting ready to present to the world that your mother and your people is already doing? And that's where y'all get confused at. Y'all don't got no culture. Y'all doing some shit that y'all got to go teach y'all mother, and y'all mother don't give a fuck about it unless it got something to do with money or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all build unhealthy relationships with y'all actual friends, family, associates, and then you detach yourself from your culture. For an example, y'all who trying to run away from y'all African side, y'all running away from any practices that y'all probably was growing up in. Y'all was growing up listening to Jamaican music, or y'all was growing up listening to all kind of different stuff, watching Roots and shit like that. All this something you ain't that. So how's you fighting for respiration then? Especially, and you can't claim you was here with us natives first before the white boy. How was you? What tribes you was around? What language was you speaking? And what landmass was you on? And where's the people now? And why ain't you the people now? You can't say ethnogenesis. You got to be the person now. There ain't black ain't no DNA flowing through your blood. So if you even gonna say you mix, what you got some group of people in Africa, which that's a consumption of Arab, Somalian, Ghanaian, right? When you type in African America, and if you put that on an application, that's what it means. It don't mean what y'all thinking about black. It means you're some bloodline from Africa that was colonized and brought here. You can't get out of that. And y'all not about to get away from phenotype arguments and getting your blood done. I'm sorry, y'all not about to do that. And y'all not about to go with no delegitimacy white boy argument of how they be trying to manipulate those arguments too, which is why we got to bring blood quantum and everything, because a white boy will name something and they don't even got no native, they just got native people blood. They don't got specific tribes and families blood. They just got native people blood. So if your blood resonate with first, it's all about genealogy first, but then beyond that, and then the culture. And because they already mixed up everybody's name and everybody up under confederations and shit based off peace treaty circumstances and shit. So a lot of these names, native tribe names, is mixed with French and Spangler that just Native Americans was involved with. They ain't really the tribes and the actual blood where you could be like, that was my grandfather, that was my grand. It's just based upon a structure. In many cases, O negative and O zero. And even if you're mixed, still large percentage scale. If you're not O negative, O zero, large percentage scales of what may be those people, right? So that's what's only being upheld. And based upon the Dawes Act, you're really going to get a large percentage of white boys that was marrying themselves into Native American tribes and making families and stuff like that. So they're less, and some of them not at all after the tree go down the line. And then they're making that more of Native American blood, calling it. So if you got the white man blood, that's what they call native. If you got an Asian person blood, this is what they try to call Siberian. And if you got an African person blood, this is what they try to say some tribe in Africa, and then create a whole bunch of nationality terms to make y'all argue about being on this land first, because that's what they're trying to do. It's all confusion. It's just all confusion. So this is how white boys could be even in charge of federally recognizing everybody. But y'all need to really make sense of that. That don't make sense. If your people ain't the one in charge over any DNA and was allowed in these science lab to participate, it's flawed, period. And we all know who got the most degenerate motivations. So just the word itself in English, you having to be federally recognized no matter what ethnicity you is by some white boys, is already y'all being retarded. I don't care what y'all trying to pluck from to try to say what's an intelligent argument or not or whatever. You just some stupid weak ass culture that allow a white boy to do everything for you in areas that they ain't supposed to. Ain't nobody doing that for white boys. When it comes to eat, fucking, and sleeping and DNA, no other person's culture is supposed to be in charge of another person's culture on that. That's crossing lines now. That's crossing lines like conversion and converting and shit like that. Then y'all punk ass new nationality terms want to have arguments at the starting point of what white boy this name and shit. That ain't got nothing to do with y'all fucking blood. Y'all want to argue. That's why, man, that's why I said y'all finished, because y'all don't know how lost y'all are sometimes. And y'all want to take up for shit that destroy you more, put you in more crippled energies and shit. You want to get on my page and do extreme hate, and you the most lost, funky ass motherfucker walking on earth. With no use. It's no use for you on earth. Anybody pushing that much damn confusion, it ain't no damn use for you being on damn earth. You just fucking retarded in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to keep that in mind. But yeah, black is not no DNA or culture. Black is just a co-op, psyop, code word for let's create an imaginary narrative anytime something needs to be done. And that's why all parties going to be involved. But you can't call it black culture, because everything that y'all doing is things that it take multiple ethnicities to participate in. Ain't no basketball team just all black people, y'all, whatever y'all call it black. And the moment they win an award or do some retarded shit, y'all gonna realize real fast they ain't black. They African mixed with Spanish. There's or this, that, and third, or Mexican mixed with, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wanna hear all that shit. Ain't nobody black. You're mixed. So y'all got to get that ethnicity stuff out y'all mind. You're destroyed because your grandmother got hit upside the head being a prostitute, and she wasn't around no strong men long enough to be around people who made languages and called themselves shit. So y'all just come from a long line of destroyed people and shit. So y'all ain't got no reminiscences of nothing. So you don't know what, like, all the people you attached to was hit upside the head too hard. So all the people in the Caribbeans and the African tribes who got hit upside the head too hard, they got mixed up faster than everybody else. So the percentage scale is so mixed up, motherfuckers to say, fuck it, let's create something new out of a nationality. And y'all let white boy put y'all in the situation that they was in first. Just not knowing themselves and have to figure out other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing that's really happening. It's not really anything else going on. Y'all think it is, but it's not. Y'all don't have good arguments because of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all waste y'all time on trying to come up with arguments that protect your agenda. Y'all don't come up with arguments that you don't have to have an agenda and it's just inevitable. Y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all just don't know how to do that. Y'all have to be some fake thing because you're not something already right now. So you have to understand, just go get a culture, go build one if you got to start over. But converting and being in other people's faces and you don't have a culture is not the way to go. That's how you see a lot of these college punks doing right now. They don't got no culture and they up here trying to tell other people how to think and how to stuff like that. Y'all look like y'all get washed away on one city block. All it takes is one city block for your mind and your whole way of life to change. Whatever you didn't got lost on in your college and the white boy taught you through their curriculum. That shit didn't even work for them, which is why we got military now and big ass weapons and fears and shields and shit like that and explosions and shit. Because obviously that shit ain't work. Okay. So your ass putting yourself in a line of fire ain't doing you no justice. No, just go get you some little bit of money and go sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere. You can't control nobody's brain. Especially somebody out here trying to get it how they natural way. You know what I'm saying? They stop natives always from doing that shit and thing. Nobody even trying to harm nobody and shit. You just a threat because you intelligent. So y'all got a fake version of intelligence and then try to dump that on everybody else and then try to make everybody seem like they're black. Then I know that you're feds. Because not even actual people from Africa over here think like that. That's in regular common day situations. You got that. That's alert behavior. You got that from college, or you got that from a fed, or you got that from somewhere. Because where is your mother? Where is your parents? Where is your shit? Know what I'm saying? Where is your shit? Know what I'm saying? It can't just be you. It got to be you and your people, which you grew up in. You don't know nothing else. It can't just be some shit you learned from college. Or you'll know my fight. You'll know why I got a distaste for that shit and why y'all got a secret distaste for me. You know what I'm saying? You'll know why. But you just trying to get it how you live. So that's your job. But understand that it's just your job. It ain't what you think it is. You can't control nobody's mind. That don't work. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to control nobody's mind. You either think like I think and we can fuck with each other, or you don't. I'm not about to waste my time trying to convert you into thinking the way I think, because that's me not minding my motherfucking business. Now, YouTube is like how MySpace was. YouTube yourself. So whoever you attract that was a stranger before people who already know you, for you to be comfortable with doing that anyway, that's you minding your own business and shit. Don't turn your YouTube into some motherfucker politics shit and things of that nature because y'all can't mind y'all funky ass business and y'all need other people's attention. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of something. All them other conversations and shit don't mean anything. That shit don't mean nothing. Y'all, it shows you're lost. It shows what y'all trying to do or whatever y'all is, whatever. All these punk college kids and stuff, they sit around and watch people and think, ooh, let me take this piece, let me take this piece, let me take this piece, and let me make this because I'm the real teacher on this land or whatever the kid. No, you a fucking foreigner. You can get back on the boat. None of that shit gonna work. I don't care about no HBCU, college, punk, or whatever that they throw out trying to be a future politician. Bitch, soon as I even see you being thrown out, I'm saying, oh, they use this person for other stuff, and they booty hole party play with. Because goddamn 90% of the damn politicians was college punks doing all the protests since the late 1800s. And just go into these colleges, they get taught to go out and do some damn vandalizing and shit like that. And if they rowdied up people in a good way, they get brownie points in politics. These be our future politicians and our, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers who did some stupid ass pilgrim shit in college. Some degenerate shit. Hey, if you teach you how to route up people's emotions, and if you can route up the most people emotions, you going to the top. What kind of demonic ass shit is that? Mind your fucking business. All y'all gonna go broke. What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? All you punk ass motherfuckers don't got no culture if you involved with that motherfucker shit. Because your grandmother wouldn't teach you no shit like that. Some pilgrim grandmother taught you that. Some woman named Elizabeth or something. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. It's like the homegirl came over here and tried to do a psyop on all of us. The Pilgrim homegirl, I forgot her name, and or is over here in Ohio, and came with her psyop and stole our whole Muskogee Creek Bible and shit like that, and then goddamn it, we really was teaching them our shit. They gonna steal it, and since the Moravian, which is just the military right now, the militia, since they got it for so long, they start creating their own shit off of it. And then when you go back in history, they'll tell you it's some shit that they created thousands of years ago that don't got no history behind it. All the way to the Jew language, Hebrew, it was made thousands of years ago though, but before the J. Greek, oh, it was an old Greek. But the new Greek that was spoken was when it was colonized in the late 1800s. No, the new Greek that was spoken is when you took the Muskogee Creek language and our Bible to help y'all understand it and shit like that. So when we start talking about the logos, right, and the theos, that's the word without it being a word, or however the case. That's Native American shit. That's Algonquian language. That's Creek, right? And all the Siouan languages is what they made the Hebrew out of. You know what I'm saying? They don't be having no logic behind their shit. So they'll tell you Greek was created thousands of years ago, but it was some old Greek. So no one know what that was. But the only way you know about it is in Turkey as this new Greek shit that was created in the 1800s. It's like them calling East Indians Indians. They ain't fight no Indian war since the damn 1600s, because they won no settlers over here in the 1500s and the 1400s. That's a goddamn lie too. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they have y'all thinking they ain't fight no Indian wars. There's no important thing in the world that happened that's important enough to write down on pieces of paper, to write down Indian itself. And that had to have been a joint effort of why we created that word, and end to end, and whatever the case may be, and them being outsiders or however the case, and we're going to call ourselves this and y'all call ourselves that. That's a whole big discussion, and government system having been constructed of them starting to try to live over here and bring their shit over here way before Hindustan was colonized and called India in the late 1800s, bitch, or the 1900s. Just like the Jewish Hebrew wasn't spoken over there until late 1800s, motherfucker. So everything is after the interactions with Briticon and French and England, man, with us Native Americans. The end, bitch. So that's the real starting point. All the way to, well, maybe their religion is similar. No, J came after the fact. So whatever similar attached to J came after the fact then. And I guarantee whatever attached to J that claim is similar, you get on Google, obviously the people that y'all claim y'all don't like is in control of the history. They gonna say it was thousands of years before it or whatever the case may be. But still, it ain't no logic in history, not even a damn Clovis stone we could motherfucker find. But yet y'all was speaking it first. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all just calling shit Hebrew. It wasn't called Hebrew, bitch. It was Algonquian. It wasn't called that either. Gregorian Algonquian. Greek, Muskogee Creek. Jew, Sioux. That's it. Do we want to go into detail? I start speaking a whole different language. I swipe out the Arab real quick. I swipe out. I put it right back in Algonquian, help you clearly understand, and then give you the better mind frame. And then you gonna tell me, is it a rabbi on earth right now who taught it that clearly? And if not, bitch, we the living representation. So who was first, bitch? Oh shit. So don't get into all that damn bullshit shit that y'all be getting into and shit. Y'all don't know shit about no tree. Y'all know shit about no fruit. Y'all don't know shit about no goat in the sky with wings. None of that goddamn shit. All that shit is Native American. Y'all know shit about no Anunnaki. All of it is Native American, bitch. Y'all just some cosplayers and copying shit. That's basically what a Mason is. A Mason is a cosplayer of a Native American. So anything a Mason is doing is what Native American, what we was doing over here first. So shit I'm already doing is shit that they be trying to do. I be spotting that out, and they use their little college punks to be doing it when they don't know they doing it. And then I be like, what is you doing? You ain't doing something right. And then they have to throw that one away. Then I'd be like, what you doing? You ain't doing that right. Then they got to throw that way or throw that one away. Then the next thing they got is just shaming, demonizing, self-projecting. They don't know themselves onto others. Nobody got time for all that. When we about to start building and helping each other and shit like that, and we didn't get ready to talk about that everybody getting ready to go broke. Because whoever creating manipulation around money, no one gonna care to buy that shit. And whoever in a situation of already going back to nature anyway, half of this shit ain't even important, which is why watch time hours is so small online right now. So it really don't matter. You got one seat, a group of individuals saying, hey, we're going to make them more frustrated and put more taxes on them. Then you're going to have a large portion of the group of motherfuckers who just don't give a fuck about that shit no more. It ain't even something to even make the other party even fight for. Nobody care about it. So as at some point, it's almost like we could test it out right now. It could be a new app. Nobody care about it. Everybody gonna still just get on YouTube or whatever the case. So whoever was creating situations on YouTube to be like, we're gonna make everybody get off YouTube and get on this app, right? Then they're gonna make the app thinking it's gonna make some profit and nobody gonna get it. I think they already did it with Rumble. They already doing this shit. They already seeing, like, nobody give a fuck. You get what you reap what you sow. It ain't no situation that you're outside, but you're in the world with us, and you get to create thought forms like you're outside of it. No, you're self projecting a bigger hell, a bigger lostness in your own mind, a coping and shit, a dumb shit. And dick's still small. You know what I'm saying? Real shit, because I know anybody who got no small dick ain't sitting around thinking like this and creating no sex dolls. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm not even in no position like some of these rich people in the world like that. And I don't even spend my time on bullshit and watching too many other people. I'm saying my time is real thin on anything that I use my power for. So even when it comes to music and stuff like that, I ain't got time to rap about what everybody else rapping about and shit like that. Let's look at music like if the music was technology and then I control people and stuff like that. I don't even got time to make a whole bunch of diss records. So I wouldn't even have time to troll a lot. It's just not. I mean, if I had time, I'd be so hyped. I probably only did 10 songs that whole year and then try to go on tour of 10 songs that whole year or whatever the case may be. When I probably had like more songs than everybody ever existed who made music in one pocket that ain't even about a tour. And anytime I go on tour, I probably could just stop making music and shit, and that's all I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different shit going on. Like, it's different shit going on when you just mind your fucking business. You actually got some business to mind. All that other shit is synthetic and shit. You got to try harder. You know what I'm saying? Getting other people's mind harder and shit like that. Anybody got time for all that shit? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's about real shit. Like, let's all be real adults. I like being a real adult. I don't like getting lost in, because the spirit that's a kid get lost in idol worship. So you have to play with toys a lot. I don't like playing with toys a lot, because it's like when you in situations, every toy don't be suitable for the situation. And then it'd be situations where people will make a made-up toy like that's what you need for that situation. It'd be toys you don't even got to put the pieces of the parts together on that toy Tonka truck. And you'd be like, oh, that race car, the hot car and shit. You'd be like, damn, why did I have to buy it? It's kind of like right now. Once upon a time, without the memory card, you could just beat a level, no matter how hard it was, like Contra, you know what I'm saying, Battletoads and shit like that. At least you get to go to the second level if you actually beat it. Man, you beat the first level, you gotta buy it and DLC, downloadable content now. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You just gonna be playing the first level and shit with new guns. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you gotta buy the next. It'd be the same shit. Like, it'd be the same shit. Like, it'd be the same shit. You know, I don't be paying attention to shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be paying attention and stuff, but y'all want to argue over the fact of, no, I like the M16 other than the assault rifle on Call of Duty or whatever the case may be. You don't want to argue over it. We got to pay for the next level though. We ain't used to have to do this. Fuck you arguing with me for about, you know what I'm saying? What you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I be thinking of shit. I think like that. I'm like, man, you don't know what world we in right now? Motherfucker, we gotta pay for the motherfucking next level and shit, man. Fuck your gun right now. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Put that shit down for a second. Go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the time y'all gotta start understanding. Y'all be lost in the sauce, man. Y'all be having the role fights, man. The role goddamn ideas about stuff, man. Dang, how y'all gonna come together unless y'all don't want to come together. See, that's how I used to put out tests like that, because I see things different. Because we be trying to help everybody. So once I start seeing like Pan-Africans and stuff like that, the way that they was talking or whatever, I was like, man, I was throwing out solutions for people. Atheists, throwing out solutions for them. Christians, throwing out solutions. Once I start seeing, oh, it's a small pocket that I did gravitate, it's a large pocket that act like they ain't listening, but somehow they got some psyop the next day like they is listening. I start realizing, oh, these cats ain't trying to change. Okay, this the Bole. So this how Yehovah show me who the Bole and who ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because I was here before everybody, so my energy goes before me. So when I was doing all my missionary work for God, that means not needing the external assistance, especially the synthetic God and concepts that humans be trying to do with thick ass archon shit, right? So once I didn't already raised into God space, I got more songs than any psyop and person who was lost in the psyop try to do, more knowledge, more wisdom, more everything. Now I'm the walking proof of sustainable, emerald talent, gold plated, mind frame, body form. That it doesn't matter how I act, you got to give me grace because I'm the natural thing. And then for the most part, no one who thought they was powerful could be seen as powerful, and anyone who's in search for ego, who need to be in a position, they learn how to build themselves up, and then eventually we wash all that from the world too. To be powerful, you gotta know how to do something yourself. Powerful ain't sitting around coming up with an idea how to rock somebody else to sleep, and slowly but surely you become Homer Simpson in the waistline. It ain't always about health, but it's just given circumstances of what we might create a synthetic, and then we think something is something that it ain't, and we just be lost in our head. And you will have to believe idol worship for these things to even be. Like, you have to be in a situation where English and the meaning behind it is already a presupposition of truth to get into a lot of mental jargon with yourself that you, at the end of the day, you'll realize that still work against you too. All of it work against you. For an example, like how these religions y'all into it that been updated. Anytime something turn into monotheism, right? It's when the colonists try to take it over. A pantheon just means there was many different people and many different tribes with their own beliefs. Someone who was acting out that energy and did it on extreme levels is the people that's going to be remembered and was the best representation of whatever that they was talking about with their culture, because they did something or whatever the case may be. So if you a group of people who ain't never did nothing, y'all ain't had no thing that once upon a time how we was fighting the white man, how we came up with the fighting over the land. Y'all don't have that in the first place to even take no appreciation with something. So y'all keep trying to use the white man God and power that don't work for you. It only worked for them. So you only could be a coon even if you don't know it. Like if you're a Nation of Islam, or let's say you're a HBC, let's say you in a college. Let's say y'all online right now, and the first thing y'all see is a whole bunch of cats with hats on with crescent moons and shit like that. You need to know that they're telling you they're coon. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing people wearing hats with the only one eye showing, tattoos and crowns and shit like that. It's people telling you what they doing. It be your own kind. It just be your own kind. In their mind, they think it's normal. It really just a representation of you lack culture. You don't have a culture. Your mother ain't had no culture. So it ain't something that you can go in your household when you was growing up and your mother like, what the fuck you doing? Why is you with a gang? It's you probably so destroyed, your mother probably promoted it. And like I said, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but people who got culture, especially when it comes to like Arabs and Asians, especially if you native or something like that, and you're going to decide to go to their colleges and not your own and stuff like that, you're going for something real. You're going to be a heart surgeon or something like that. You're going to be a, you know what I'm saying? Something that can help people. Something in health, medical, something physician or something like that. You're not going for no damn fed psyop. So social relations, like all that bullshit, that's made up shit. And a person to be into that shit, they're already depressed. That's their problem. So they're just self-projecting, and then they think that they handled that degenerate problem first, which they didn't. Then they're gonna put themselves in a position to help others, and ain't really helping others. They just helping themselves get paid and have a roof over their head. It really ain't got nothing to do with nothing else, though. These people do not be psychologists. These people do not be philosophers and stuff like that. So y'all need to know, anytime y'all African Americans, anytime y'all see, I'm about to help y'all. Anytime y'all see somebody start saying black culture, that's somebody part of Bole. And it's actually more white people involved behind closed doors, because there is no such thing as black culture. Because y'all get lost. Y'all about to start naming hip hop, rap and shit like that. But if we get into details, everybody foreigners in hip hop. Everybody is a foreigner in hip hop. Y'all start trying to say old dirty bastard is Native American and all this type of shit. Man, y'all are out of y'all rabbit ass minds. Y'all are out of y'all rabbit ass minds. Y'all don't have no culture. Y'all all over the place. Old dirty bastard, mother and father would have told him he ain't shit. Which is why he was so comfortable with getting a record deal, so comfortable with joining Wu-Tang, so comfortable being around Jews, so comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not even in the mind frame. I don't even get, why is y'all coming up with stupid stuff online? That's what I'm trying to understand. Y'all have nothing attached to anything. I don't understand. I don't get it. Ain't nothing wrong with being no cop or in the military or anything of that nature, but I get my ass whooped. But I'm not saying even whoever will whoop my ass, we even say anything wrong with it or whatever the case. But we know what it leads to personally. We're not gonna stop anybody else from trying to do it, and we hope somebody else choose better jobs or whatever the case if they join that shit. But other than that, that's as far as it go in this motherfucking shit. But if you see anybody start talking about black culture or black problems, they're talking about a whole bunch of people from different continents, and black itself is just a code word for let's create a narrative. Let's create a imaginary narrative. And then for the most part, once you create an imaginary narrative, you could just dump that on people. But it ain't about to be nobody talking about that but y'all own. So that's how y'all need to know that it's funded by white people. So y'all got to make up y'all minds. It's like y'all serve two masters. But don't call something a culture that ain't no culture, because y'all start saying ain't no such thing as a culture that needs to be healed. It ain't no culture. That's why y'all need to be healed. You have to find a culture. You won't be healed. I mean, you won't need to be healed if you had a culture already. Culture come with family, land, practices that we could kind of decipher. Y'all closer to a god, not converting everybody to that. When everybody learn their own relatability, synchronizing energy, everybody know how to separate from bullshit and relate and synchronize with each other. Everybody have their own Aquarius pocket alone to attach with everybody else, and that's the true God on earth and how you bring it. But for the most part, y'all busy trying to convert. So y'all in some situation where anytime y'all hear black, that's the bole. They've been doing this. They had this more sufficient because it's online now. Y'all only heard people from Africa screaming blackity, black, who came out of HBCU's colleges with yarmulkes on or kufis on. You know what I'm saying? And these was the only people that white man was promoting their books and stuff. So the going back to Africa thing, that was y'all might think that was a psyop. No, that was actually African Americans knowing that they was on a land that they don't belong in. Don't matter if they was born here. And they was teaching that white man should be giving them some money so they could go build themselves up in Africa, and in opposition to the African people that was selling them out over there already, and the Arabs. So since you brought us over here, you support us to build our shit up over there, so we don't have to go through the African people that put y'all in that position, making business deal with Asian and Europeans in the first place. And then once y'all start to make a lot of money and do that, that's when they stop that, and then they need y'all here to control y'all. And then they need to control other ethnicities. So they start to bring a lot of other foreigners as coons to start preaching this black. That black thing only come from foreigners from the Caribbean. Martin Luther King, a foreigner. Anybody y'all could think of had a tuxedo on. That's when you know they're a foreigner. If they got a tuxedo on, they're a foreigner. They're way lost from their culture. And if they was in their mother's, if they was around their mother or their family, they don't got nobody to be like, take that off. They got somebody to say, ooh, this look good. You're gonna go out there and do that. So they mother sound like pilgrims. Pardon me. Their grandparents sound like pilgrims, and they all motivated to be in white culture because they're already destroyed, so they don't know nothing else. So that's why it's easy to accept a nationality like it's actually DNA and your ethnicity. Nationality is not ethnicity. Ethnicity is what's in your blood and your culture. See what I'm saying? So y'all, there is no such thing as a ethnogenesis. If a Puerto Rican fuck a Mexican right now, that is a Puerto Rican mixed with Mexican. If a Native American fuck an African American or a Spangler, that is a Native American mixed with an African like me, or a Spangler, like how y'all see more on the West Coast or whatever the case may be. If you see goddamn it the other way around, if you see somebody from Africa with stronger genes, right? If they're Nigerian and they fuck with a Puerto Rican or Dominican or something like that, or Jamaican, right? It's mixed. Y'all never gonna get this new thing that white people trying to make y'all think, because they trying to confuse y'all to even make y'all think Native Americans come from Asians and Mongoloid. That don't even make no sense. How does that make? How can Asians make a new race? I don't get it. Like, y'all lost in foggy land, and y'all allow white people to make these things sound smart. None of it sounds smart. And if you want to make intelligence of it, you can only make intelligence that it wasn't made to be smart. It's another reason why a white boy is making it appear to be that way. That works in another favor for them to be native on lands all the way to Africa and stuff like that. by just concepts in the mind, not reality though. You know what I'm saying? And then when y'all get lost into that, you sound like an FBA, or you sound like Dr. Umar, you sound like a Pan-African in America. You know what I'm saying? You just start picking things. Or you sound like a Hebrew Israelite, or you sound like a Christian. But none of y'all are these things in reality. You're just picking something in spirit and trying to get paid off of it. You know what I'm saying? No black people went through slavery. That was made in the 1970s by other foreigners who didn't go through slavery. Africans went through slavery. Africans went through slavery. If you claiming you black, you do not need to be crying for respiration. You ain't go through nothing. So your highest argument is going to be cosplaying Native Americans or something like that. And then, you know, y'all not even in it a little bit. So y'all just making up things in y'all mind like pilgrims did with Christianity and Jewish stuff. Y'all pilgrim minded. You just making up stuff. You got to make up things in your mind through English and shit like that. And then they wasn't even speaking English when they came over here. So you'll have FBAs and stuff start talking about they made up English, and English is a constellation that's pagan of French, British, Spain, England, and then 80% Native American. So if you don't even know that, you definitely ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Definitely ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Ohio. You know what I'm saying? The Seneca named that. You know what I'm saying? Kiski Pilasepi, the Shawnees named it that. You know what I'm saying? So every city and state and the streets is named by the Native Americans. Y'all somewhere talking about y'all made up something in English that the English term itself is stolen from Native American. Like I tell you, what y'all be talking about? Y'all just be talking. Y'all just be talking. Y'all start saying, yeah, we made Harlem or stuff. No, y'all didn't. The fuck is y'all talking about? Do you know what happened? Do you know about the Beaver Wars? They ain't never about to bring up nothing that actually happened. You know what I'm saying? They about to bring up a whole bunch of bullshit and things of that nature. Nobody care about that. You know what I'm saying? Do you know about Half King? You know what I'm saying? What? Tower Cherry? Tower Cherry? Ooh, I don't want to bastardize his name. His native name. But do you know about that? Before you start talking about New York or whatever the case may be, and the fight that happened when it was called New Amsterdam, and them trying to settle, and it wasn't settling, it was this trade route. The age of exploration is built off trade route. No one's settling yet. Settling started happening in the 1600s, and they couldn't settle. And the moment that they can settle is when they started bringing Africans and more Arabs, and that was in the 1700s. So the 1400s, 1492, is only the feds that be talking about that. Nobody, the Native Americans don't talk about that. And I'm going to start taking y'all around just so y'all hear some elders too. No one has that starting point. That's still in our 7 languages. That 1942, that equate to 7. Just like pata kacha mana, badasalaga, yawaha, pata kacha mana. 6, badasalaga. 5, yawaha, yaha. That's 3. That's 2. So that equates to 7 also, right? So the 6532 equates to 7, and the 1942 is their psyop version, cosplaying energy of our 7 cycle energy, 7 hemispheres, 7 languages. We that band all of our languages together, being planetons and planetcons and shit like that. So that was just them discovering that we got some trade shit over here, things of that nature, and them learning our shit. Then the 1500s, age of exploration, just trade routes, and European getting good at it from Africa through us making deals with China. And then for the most part, then we get 1600s, them trying to settle, and then we didn't want it. So then now the Indian Wars start happening and shit like that. And then the 1700s, they got good at trying to take our trade routes, getting help by Africans and Filipinos and Arabs. And then that was the 1700s. And then once that happened, that they start winning that war, once we was beating their ass throughout the 1600s, don't come over here no more. We don't want y'all over here no more. Not even a trade anymore, because they stay for a few months and then they leave, or stay for a few weeks, and we'll teach them to feed and teach them our culture. So that's the whole George Washington psyop, just all the generals learning our culture. And then from Britain. And then for the most part, the 1700s is when they said, man, fuck them Indians, and they hitting us upside our head, and we ain't trying to be their slaves or shit over there or whatever the case, and when we try to stay over there. So now they're bringing forces with them. Buffalo Soldiers and all this other motherfucker shit. Before it was Buffalo Soldiers, that's more towards the West Coast or whatever the case, because a lot of people like to equate John Horse has something to do with Buffalo Soldiers. No, these are two different time periods, and when we get into Mexico or when we get into moving westward to the Midwest, that's after a lot of other things like the Tears, and that ain't even the only thing when it comes to the Southern East Coast bands. When we get to the Ohio and we get to New York, they had that before that, and Ghost Dances. Y'all don't even understand. So when it comes to the 1700s, that's when it was a get down, lay down energy, and then they had enough people to help them build and replace what we was already doing on the land with Africans and a little bit of Asians, Filipinos, and then pockets of Arabs they doing business with and shit like that to filter through Asia. And then for the most part, and then that became the whole 1700s, just Native Americans trying to get our shit back and getting downsized because these cats got help and they're willing to kill now. And they got black people, well, African Americans with them and shit like that. Then we get to the whole 1800s. Native Americans, us building ourselves back up, kidnapping y'all, fucking every ethnicity in sight, and goddamn it, replenishing because we are goddamn it, there's endangered species at this moment, getting ready to be leaving dinosaurs and all become birds. Now we built ourselves up so much. In the early 1900s, here's you get this fight again. But just a whole bunch of mixed ass Native Americans and smooth pockets of elders, mostly women and men and shit. So that gets us here now, where they got us all dying off alcohol or some type of poison or something that they did over here. We all died at the time Tecumseh got killed at 45 or some weird shit for the men and the woman. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for my mothers. But like I said, right, then we in some situations. So a lot of times it's important for a lot of natives to get off reservations until we could just all be on the regular land and then work with it like that and go reverse and make the land the reservation again. Get off the reservation. Y'all stop being sick and dying at 45 and shit. And then for the most part, because they got us all with diabetes, we look like we getting embalmed and stuff like that, our aunties and stuff. No, we ain't got no time for that shit no more, right? But for the most part, boom, now you get this flourishing. But then we were forced to be talk power warriors a little bit of shit like that. So then you get all this other shit now. Shout out to AIM, American Indian Movement and shit like that. So now it's just all of us, pure, and Native Americans mixed with Mexican, Native Americans mixed with Italian, Native Americans mixed with African, Arab, and all this goddamn shit, trying to find our motherfucking selves again and shit like that. Now we're in 2000 right now, and we're in a situation where they did so much import export. The previous arguments that worked to sweep things up under the rug can't work because there's a bunch of other people trying to do things that they don't even know that actually could only be the face for the people who's running it. That's constantly sweeping shit up under the rug energy. So now it's like everything is in limbo, and we're all amongst each other. And this is why culture is most important, and this is why it's starting to appear to be like what it is right now, because all the laws or everybody using the laws that's foreigners right now is unpotent, because the time that these things were started to make sense is we're no longer in that shift. We're not living that anymore, and everybody got different issues that we're trying to build upon now and figure out. So things that worked for money or complacent energies before is not even that type of same party. It's not enough of them same white people. It's not enough of the same type of Native Americans. It's not enough of the same. We got this new black thing, so it's not enough of them Africans no more. It's not enough of the Puerto Ricans that was joining all the fights and shit like that. It's all this melty thing to the point that we get the birth of Myron Gaines, nigga. But in the next breath, talking down on y'all like he on the side of the government. This is some new voodoo doll. This is like a voodoo doll or something like that. It's like a new thing. Candace Owens. It's like a Tariq Nasheed. You know what I'm saying? These is like new things. Drake. Kendrick Lamar. These are new things. Your highest selling record is dissing your own kind. You see what I'm saying? These are new things. But we can't talk like this though, because it seems like it's going in somebody's pocket that want to make shit that ain't got no logic behind it more important in the world. But when we just talk the real shit, this is something we all can feel. Even the people that's in positions of power. Man, we all can feel shit like this heart to heart. We know when we bullshitting. We know when we bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? We know that. So it ain't a big thing or whatever the case may be. But it ain't light we can't all come together either. But the mind games, I think, that's the retardation that we keep fluctuating. And once we get out that conversion, retardation, confluctuation energy, we will be able to have some substantiated. And then that'll stop all crime or whatever, but that's if we want to do it. I don't think these things want to be stopped. I don't think people be wanting to find a culture. I think people be lost in their ego and just want to be seen as a talk power warrior. So they just be some singled out thing and then want to blame everybody else while they're in a position that they just scamp their own people to be in. Because I've been seeing black people rock their own people to sleep for the past 50 years. You better believe it. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I'm in the care I got duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Go outside and get you some motherfucking sun so you can and look at it. And you ain't got to squint your eyes no more on this motherfucking shit. Because you're native to the continent, bitch. And it don't go no further than that, bitch. Hell, hold that. Y'all do a rack to swab master soil.